I believe that risk is not volatility. The academics developing investment theory, largely at the University of Chicago in the early 60s, just a couple of years before I got there, adopted volatility as their measure of risk. I believe they did so largely because volatility is readily quantifiable and nothing else is. I think that volatility can be an indicator of the presence of risk, a symptom, if you will, but it's not risk itself. So if risk is not volatility, then what is it? And in my opinion, and in the real world sense, risk is the probability of loss. I think this is what most people mean when they say risk, and I think that this is what people demand compensation for if they're going to bear it. Nobody sitting around at Oaktree says, well, we shouldn't make that investment because it might be volatile, or because it might be volatile, we should demand a higher return. No, they say that about the possibility of loss. We're not going to make that investment because the possibility of loss is too high, or because of the possibility of loss, we're going to demand a risk premium in terms of the return. This is risk, the possibility of loss. Now, another important question is risk quantifiable in advance? And I believe it's not. Like most things occurring in the future, risk cannot be anything except a matter of opinion. I was writing my first memo about risk in 2006. I wrote about my belief that risk is not quantifiable in advance. And then I hit the return key and went on to the next section and wrote something I had never thought about before. My belief that risk is unquantifiable even after the fact. And I think this is a fascinating topic. You buy something for $1, and a year later, you sell it for $2. Was it risky? And the interesting thing is that you can't tell from the outcome. A profitable investment may or may not have been risky. Was it a safe investment that, in the case of my example, was sure to double? Or was it a risky investment where you got lucky in terms of the outcome? And as I say, you can't tell from the outcome. The bottom line is, to me, it's impossible to quantify risk in advance or even in hindsight.